Well, welcome to our little eco house. This is a 12-sided round house. The living area here is only about 800 square feet. And then we have a large porch outside. First area is our kitchen. And the greatest challenge, and it's not a negative, is because our life really revolves around growing food, preparing food, and eating. We sometimes overflow where we're keeping our food. I do a lot of fermenting, and so when you ferment, your things are not supposed to be real close to each other. This is kombucha that's fermenting. This happens to be honeybee healthy, which is for our beehive in the wintertime. It's just in water to keep it away from ants. And then this is kombucha that's doing one more fermentation with ginger in it. So when I have my sourdough out to have that ferment, I have to keep that away. And then over here, I'm getting ready to do some yogurt, and that'll be over on this side. And then some things that are ripening. And we did have to harvest our tomatoes early because of the cold weather, so we have tomatoes scattered all around. But here's our living area, and as you can guess, there's not much room for storage. We really only have 3 closets, and so our things are kind of out in the open, which in a way keeps you aware of what you want to do with them. So we have our yoga mats over there, and we always see them, so we remember we need to do yoga. And we have our musical instruments, drums and flutes and stuff. They're there. We don't have TV. We just have a screen and a DVD player. So, it isn't like the TV area is central, but we do watch foreign movies, so this is kind of our movie area. I do have a business, and I operate my business from home, and I keep my inventory in a shed, but I basically have tried to keep my business really lean, so I just operate it from a cell phone and a laptop, and then I do my bookkeeping and try to keep things neat. If you go around here, this is our sleeping area. I guess you wouldn't really call it a bedroom, but it's a sleeping area and where we store our clothes. That's probably what we feel we have too much of, especially here in Florida right now. It's a little bit cold, so we've got our cold weather gear out from the storage shed, and that seems to be way too much stuff all around. When you have a small house, really your outdoors is part of your living area. So right here is the porch, where we really, I would say in nice weather, I guess you'd say this is our entertaining area. This is where we eat. We store our fat tire bikes here. My dehydrator is here. Our trampoline for exercise is here. So in Florida, a porch certainly is very, very livable. And I'd say our outdoors, we've created some living space. I sometimes will have my breakfast at that bench down there. We have another level below that, which is there's a swing and a hammock. And then on the beach, we have a teepee. And the teepee was interesting because the one thing people will say about a small living space is, where do your guests stay? If you have guests. So in nice weather with hardy people, they'll often pitch a tent on the beach. But on Thanksgiving, I had my whole family here, which was a family, my 2 sisters and my parents and a niece were all here. And they live too far away to go back and forth. So I didn't want to get a hotel room or anything like that. And I asked if they were up for just camping in the house, and it was too cold to be here on the porch. So we gave my parents the bed. A sister slept in a futon, and my other sister on the floor, her daughter on the floor, and Hunter and I slept in the teepee. And it really was an amazing experience, because it was like this whole family being together in this small space. You didn't get away from each other. It was real cozy, and we did neat things, and there was no TV to watch, so you kind of interacted with each other. And it was really, I don't think anyone was uncomfortable. It wouldn't be something you'd want to do long term. We had a visitor from Australia stay with us for 5 days, and people say, where's your privacy? But it works out, and it kind of brings your visit to a different level. My favorite spot is the porch. There's no doubt. The porch is really a magical place for watching wildlife, and that's what you become very much a part of, is the outdoors. It's almost like, for those of, I guess you would say, a duck hunter or a bird watcher, they call them blinds, where you can sit and the animals don't know you're there. So it's really neat to just sit and observe. I mean, I've seen an otter go by, I've seen an eagle with an osprey. Right now we have mockingbirds that are bouncing around, and wood ducks, and yet you're kind of protected. There's something about a porch with a roof over your head for shade. In the tropics you don't have screens really, but screens are necessary here. But there's a I don't know, I think a magical feeling of a porch. And so this is definitely my favorite place to be. Decorating a small house seems disconnected from the reality of living in a small house, because it's not about decorating it. It's about creating a living space that's functional and comfortable. So that was kind of an interesting thing to start to contemplate, the idea. Energy, I think energy of houses, people who buy houses will say, well, the energy doesn't feel good, and I'm not sure if they know what they are even feeling, but the energy of this house is really wonderful. And I think it's because of its shape, round, the whole mandala, even though these are, it's, I don't know, a donagon or whatever they call 12 sides, but it's round. And I think that's the completion of a circle. This floor, the history of the floor was after Hurricane Charlie. In this area in Central Florida, the beautiful native longleaf pines started to die mysteriously after the hurricanes came through here, because quite a few hurricanes passed by here. I think the theory is they got twisted or something, but they began to die. And a friend of Hunter's, Steve Morrison, had a portable sawmill, and he was going around seeing if he could at least save the wood of these dying longleaf pines. So Hunter got this wood from that particular project. So these floors are longleaf pine wood that was placed down. So that's a real local, and that's when people are looking for sustainable ways to build. Your challenge is to find a local source of material that's not like taking from a tropical rainforest, or that's renewable. So a renewable local source is really challenging.